I received an email from Brock, and he has been down and out for almost a year now with a back injury. And the comment that he initially sent in to me was, I wish I had broken a bone because I would have healed quicker than dealing with this back injury. And I thought this was an incredible comment, and it was a great conversation that I had with him. And I wanted to share this entire situation with you. What he meant by that is, if you've ever broken a bone and you eat and you sleep and you do the necessary recovery components, the amount of time it takes to heal a broken bone is quite short. In this case, he's been down and out for almost a year because it's soft tissue related. Now, the thing that was so interesting about this is the soft tissue related injury was not an impact injury. It was an overuse injury. This individual happens to be an elite runner, and he was just kind of chalking it up to, hey, look, I'm running a lot of miles. It's just natural to have a tight low back. It's not. And this applies to you as well. Whether you consider yourself a hardcore athlete or not, just look at yourself as a human being. You should be able to move without pain, and you should have full functional range of motion without pain. Now, I don't want this to come across as harsh or condescending at all, but if you can't reach down and touch your toes without your lower back starting to tighten up, why are you going to the gym and doing strengthening exercises that are making those exact muscles tighter, which limits your range of motion, which increases your pain? It creates a cascade of issues, because what I've seen happen numerous times is a muscle will get so overdeveloped that will actually create structural damage. So if you think about, every muscle has an origin and an insertion. Think about it like a rope. There's two ends to every rope. Well, when a muscle becomes over tightened because it gets overdeveloped and or overused, all it's doing is creating more and more tension on those attachments. So I've literally seen vertebrae get pulled completely out of alignment because of hypertonicity, the tightness inside the belly of the muscle. So the individual gets a little frustrated because they go and they get a massage, but the muscle tightness doesn't go away. Well, that's because the vertebrae have been moved out of alignment. And as I've said in previous videos, until you get the vertebrae into alignment, the tension in the muscle will never go away, and vice versa. If you sit there and you get a chiropractic adjustment and the muscles are tight, the tight muscle is going to pull that spinal adjustment that you just had. It's going to pull it right back out of alignment. Unfortunately, what we're talking about today is the muscle tightness and the habitual tightness in the tissue ended up creating a long-term low back injury, to the point that this individual, who happens to be an elite runner, as I mentioned, could not physically run because he could barely walk. When we were talking, I said, well, to what point of discomfort did you have? And he said, Rob, I would get out of my car and I'd be bent over almost like a 90-degree angle. He goes, I could barely stand straight up. Again, no soft tissue injuries. No slip and falls, no car accidents, no nothing. Just overuse that created muscle tightness, that it went to the point. We have this mantra with the human body. Think about it. If you don't give the body what it needs, it's going to take it. So like in this case, we have to let pain be our dictator. But our problem is especially as we move into the realm of athleticism, we just think that's part of the environment. Well, I'm supposed to be sore. I'm supposed to be tight because I'm working out so much. Don't buy into that mindset. You look at some of the best athletes in the world, they're physically very strong, but they're very flexible. They have great strength, but they also have great endurance. You've got to be a complete package all the way around. What we're talking about with flexibility, you can't be flexible unless, excuse me, unless you're hydrated and you're well fed and you're well rested. If you just think about a dry chain, a bicycle chain, if it's all dried out, look at how much resistance it creates just to go through its normal rotation. Well, a muscle that's dried out, dehydrated, a muscle that's overworked, exhausted, a muscle that's tired because it's not sleeping well, you never get a chance to rejuvenate the body. So yes, as a human being, we have a high pain tolerance. Especially females, you have a very high pain tolerance. You push through the pain until the body finally grabs our attention, and then we give it what it needs. And that's going to be hydration, rest, soft tissue maintenance like contrast therapy, massage, chiropractic. And that's the whole idea here is I don't want you to wait until you get injured to go, hey, maybe I should start paying attention to that ouch factor. When you step out of bed and you feel super tight, and again, I haven't said it yet, but I apologize, that was incorrect way to bring this point across. Please don't chalk it up to age. We've got some endurance athletes, we've got some motorcycle racers, I've got some wakeboarders that are in their 60s and they still have good functional range of motion. Please don't let age be an issue. And if you've been injured, you've been in a car wreck or you've been in an accident, absolutely, that does play a role. I'm not going to be the one that's going to go out there and say, hey, because you got in a severe car accident and you had to have 2 vertebrae fused, you should still have 100% range of motion. Please don't misunderstand me. That's not what I'm saying. We obviously have to factor those types of conditions in. However, in this case, you have an elite runner with no injuries who now is physically injured and unable to run because of lack of soft tissue maintenance and balancing strength and flexibility. So I just wanted to share that with you. It was a great conversation. Hopefully I've created an epiphany for you. Let's not wait till something's broken before we fix it. Let's be proactive. Let pain be your dictator. Look at functional movement. You should be able to move without pain for every ideal range of motion in the body. If you happen to have a question or a frustration, something that I can do some research on, please do me a favor, send it to me and my team. You can do so by sending it to contact@coachrob.com. The number of questions that are coming in every week continue to elevate, and we're very thankful for that. Reason being is we're putting out a video every morning here on YouTube to make sure that we answer your questions. We want to break through the misinformation that's floating around out there. So thank you for your time. Please like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.